guys, Blackwing2040 here, and I'm going to be giving you a review on Justice League Unlimited. Now, before I did a review on Justice League, so I'll be leaving that review in the description below, the link. And today, let's get into Justice League Unlimited. So, I'm just going to say JLU to save my breath, because I know I'm saying that so fast it's going to make me have a list. But anyway, JLU aired in 2004 on Toonami on Cartoon Network, because alright, you know what? Let's reverse back to what happened before. After the Thanagarian invasion at the end of Justice League, the whole league disbanded. Well, Hawkgirl left the team because she felt ashamed. So, with that being said, the league decides to fix everything that the Thanagarians had destroyed, and with that, they create a whole new league with more heroes. That's right, you got the main seven, along with other heroes. You got Green Arrow, Black Canary, Zatanna, Dr. Fate, Vixen, Atom, Captain Atom, Atom Smasher, Stargirl, Stripe, oh my gosh, and the list goes on and on and on. If you want the full list, you can just look up the list online. But anyway, Superman decides to tell the league that we're going to be more than just 7 people. We're going to be the whole squadron. They're protecting the whole planet this time. Knowing that the whole world can't depend on just 7 people. They're going to need the whole league on this. Like, a big group. So, of course, the first members to join the league were Green Arrow and Supergirl. And, and just for reference notice, Green Lantern John Stewart shaved his head, and now he's got a beard, and he's currently going out with Vixen. So, ooh. But anyway, this series was pretty darn epic and amazing. Especially, they had lots and lots of story arcs. Like, the story arcs in mostly the season that really was the bombshell of this entire show was season 2, and I'll get to that soon. But in season 1, it talks about each hero's story, yada yada, especially with Booster Gold, who I think he's kind of a bit of annoying and a nut job at some moments. But Booster Gold has kind of grown on to me, kind of, just a little bit. But overall, Booster Gold is somewhat okay of a hero. Green Arrow, on the other hand, oh, he was awesome. He was awesome in this TV show. And also, you have like a little traitor in the hands of Dr. Emil Hamilton, who created a clone version of Supergirl named Galatea. Now, if you look at the animation style of Galatea, she has the exact costume of Power Girl, which is what she was supposed to be. She was supposed, because Power Girl is a clone of Supergirl. Well, in the comics, Power Girl is from a different Earth. But anyway, at the end of season 1, there was a 2-part episode called The Once and Future Thing, where an enemy named Kronos is stealing things from other time eras. So he has this time belt that can make him travel through anywhere through time. So his wife asks him what is he doing, and she tells him that this is my collection. And she feels like, her mind, this could be epicness, because he can go back and steal a whole bunch of money and all that. And then he tries to tell her the dangers of it, and then she gets mad, and then he decides to just leave her. And so he does the most stupidest thing. He goes after Batman's utility belt. I'm like, what do you need Batman's utility belt for? I just don't understand it. So they Batman, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman go after him, and they end up going into the Old West, where they run into some old all-star Western DC characters like Jonah Hex, who is the most known, Batlash, and El Diablo. And there's another character who I don't remember the name of, but anyway, because Kronos got his belt taken away by this enemy, and from that he was able to get his hands on a futuristic gun that has like 6 holes in it, like 6 rounds, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it was a futuristic weapon, and he had everything. His whole crew had futuristic enemies like robotic dinosaurs, turrets. I mean, none of this was there in the Western times, so of course they knew that was weird. So anyway, they find Kronos. They found out his belt got stolen from him, and they fight back, and boom, all is happy with the world. He got his belt back, and then he does a double crossing move and tases Batman. Then he goes straight into the future. Now this is where the fun kicks in. They run into the future, and guess who they find? They find the Jokers. You guys remember the Jokers from Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, right? That was them. And they run into the futuristic Justice League, which has Batman Beyond, Warhawk, and wait for it, drumroll please, Static Shock! Static. Yes, Static was in the future. And apparently he was 60, so he had gray hair, gray dreads, a long beard and everything. So I'm like, is that Static? You look old! But yeah, even at 60, Static is still kicking butt. I don't understand. So the Jokers have like special powers now. Bonk, who is the muscle of the group, now he can make his hand turn into a hammer. Ghoul, who's like a futuristic version of Scarecrow, can have his hand pull out into a chainsaw. Chucko, the masked clown, he has a weapon that's kind of like a lightsaber. He has no legs and he's on a rolling ball, but like levitating, so he's able to maneuver himself whichever direction. Dee Dee has like whips for some kind, and she could also multiply herself. So you better watch out for Dee Dee. And Wolf, on the other hand, he just has 2 mechanical arms and he can just run fast, I guess. So with that, the League retreats, and they ask whatever happened to the rest of the League. Batman Beyond tells them they all died, and the only thing left is just Terry, Static, Warhawk, and Bruce Wayne. The funny thing is, with Bruce Wayne meeting his younger self, it was just so funny. It was like, Bruce is like, surprised to see me? A little. I'm surprised I even lived this long. Batman, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, Batman. Where have you met? Not now. Great. What I used to call it? Stereo. Just the meaning of just both of the same person looking at each other. I just find it weird, but cool at the same time. But yet, they both have different methods of doing things, because during the period, Terry is the Batman during that time, and as he goes out looking for Kronos, Terry says that things change, you don't know your way around here. But Batman asks this, are criminals here still superstitious and cowardly? Yep. Good enough for me. So, of course, criminals are still scared of Batman, so he finds Ghoul, and he does his old interrogation methods on him. He holds Ghoul over a rooftop, and of course that's one of his. I love when he holds someone over a roof. And then future Bruce tells him, "I can't believe I was ever that greedy." So he throws him, and this is how he interrogates. He hits them with his cane. I'm like, they didn't show it, because I know that's probably the most violent thing that they ever put in. So they just have Bruce walking up to Ghoul with his cane. The screen goes black, and then Ghoul starts speaking. So that's probably got to be one hard beatdown Ghoul has taken. So with that, they find Kronos' wife, Enid Clinton, and they want to know where Kronos is. And when they walked in, Jon Stewart turns into Hal Jordan, because it had a time shift. But it was only for a short period of time, and that was the only time you'll ever see Green Lantern Hal Jordan in the DC animated universe. Of course, you know Guy Gardner never appeared, which I'm happy for, because I do not like Guy Gardner at all. Okay, so back to the story. Kronos has been sleeping in a dungeon when he has monuments and historic locations in futuristic Gotham City. So that's tearing the whole space-time continuum apart, and the Justice League try taking him down, and then he gets mad at his wife for betraying him, and then Batman tells Kronos that time is being destroyed, so he decides to take the cowardly route. He goes back into the time portal, tries to go to the beginning of time, and Green Lantern said it's the law of the Green Lantern to never see the beginning of time. So they try to make it before him, because if Kronos makes it to the beginning of time, he could be like a god, which that's not gonna happen on the Justice League's watch. So they catch him. Batman puts this disc into his belt that could prevent him from time jumping ever again. And so with that, They return to their main part where they're just sitting there at dinner. I mean, not dinner, in the cafeteria, the Watchtower cafeteria. So Batman and Green Lantern are the only ones that remember what happened because Wonder Woman got caught in a time paradox, so she didn't exist. So that was one of my favorite episodes of Justice League Unlimited. But now let's get to the bombshell of the series. Season 2 had the Cadmus arc, and with the Cadmus arc, it had Amanda Waller, who apparently can't keep her nose out of anything. She's got to be in everything. I mean, she's a cool character, but she's that character you get so tired of. I get tired of her. So Project Cadmus is the real reason who created Galatea, and they created this other team called the Ultimen, which is like they're like a spin-off of the Super Friends. Like they had two characters that are like a ripoff of the Wonder Twins, a character who's called Juice, who's a ripoff of Black Vulcan, and another character named Long Shadow, who really wants to be part of the Justice League, and a character named Moondragon, whose power is like wind. So just Project Cadmus shows up to stop what the Ultimen have been doing because they feel like they've been dysfunctional, and so Long Shadow doesn't want to be part of the team anymore, and he wants to join the League. So Amanda Waller shows up and tells them they'll be taking the Ultimen in, even Long Shadow, but Long Shadow doesn't want to leave, and so Batman comes up to her and says, "My group is bigger. Your move." And then she tells Cadmus to stand down, and Long Shadow joins the Justice League. And the funny thing is with Batman, he knows he knows what to do. He even snuck into Amanda Waller's home, shut down her cameras, and he was in her bathroom while after Amanda Waller finished taking a shower. She was looking for a towel. Batman handed her the towel, and she was like, "Get dressed. We need to talk." So after that whole instinct, they got the reason why they created the Ultimen was to have a contingency plan for whenever the Justice League went rogue. Because the reason why they had this, because in Justice League there was a team called the Justice Lords, who were like a high dictatorship group that destroyed everything. But here's with the Justice Lord, they didn't have a Flash, because in that future Lex Luthor killed the Flash, Superman got angry, and he killed Lex Luthor. So the question feels, you know who the Question is. The Question is that hero with the no face. So he wants to find out how this happens. So, and this also leads to Lex Luthor running for president. But turns out the plan was he wasn't really running for president. He was only running for president just to tick Superman off. So the Question goes in and interrogates Luthor, and instead he gets a total beatdown from him. But at least he was brave enough to take on Luthor. Superman and Huntress went into Project Cadmus to see what else secrets that they had. Captain Atom came in and he started fighting Superman because General Eiling gave him his job back, because Captain Atom used to work for the army. So he gave him his job back, and Captain Atom was trying to stop Superman. But you think that's going to stop Superman? No, it didn't. And with that happening, Cadmus created this whole army of Ultimen, and they got onto the Watchtower, and they started destroying everything and everyone. And plus, they had the Suicide Squad, but they didn't call them the Suicide Squad. They were called Task Force X, as they were originally called, with members of Plastique, Captain Boomerang, Clock King, Deadshot, and of course Rick Flag. They wanted this special this machine that's kind of like the Destroyer from Marvel, but something different. I forgot what it's called. But Plastique got captured in the process. So, but Rick Flag had to do it, because if he didn't do it, Amanda Waller was gonna blackmail him. It's like Amanda Waller keeps tabs on everybody. That's one thing you don't want to have, because she's a dangerous woman. That's all I gotta say. She is a dangerous woman. That's why I'm glad Viola Davis is gonna be playing Amanda Waller in Suicide Squad. I know she's gonna nail that role. But anyway, So the Justice League battle the army of Ulti-Men. Supergirl fights Galatea one more time and gives her an electric shock through her system by putting an electric plug through, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was a hard battle, and someone tripped a beam and shot a laser from the watchtower onto an abandoned R&D site. So now everyone is scared, and the president calls them. Flash was like, I don't want to be the one to know who's on the other side of that phone. And so Martian Manhunter picks up the phone. Of course, the president is upset. No, not upset. He's very, very ticked off. So now everyone is crazy, and Lex Luthor was the whole cause of everything. All of this was his doing. And so the Justice League, they're being told to turn themselves in, all the original 7. But Batman chooses otherwise because he knows Cadmus doesn't have the equipment to actually do that. But so they find out it's Lex Luthor. They try to attack him, but guess who else they find? Brainiac was inside Lex Luthor the whole time. That's probably like the weirdest thing ever, because like Brainiac's just technology just pukes out of Luthor, like giving him like tentacle arms, mechanical legs. I'm like, Brainiac was in Luthor the entire time. And so Brainiac now wants to make a deal with Luthor because, of course, with Brainiac, he wants to know the secret of everything and, of course, destroy everything. He creates mechanical versions of the Justice Lords and even makes the Justice Lord Flash, which looks like Reverse Flash. So Luthor feels so happy of this because he has all this power and he's fused with Brainiac. So what do they call him? Luthiac? Luthiac. They're fused together, and Flash makes the ultimate sacrifice. He runs so fast trying to take him down that he becomes one with the Speed Force. But that doesn't stop the League from trying. They reach in and they save him, so they wouldn't have what happened to the Justice Lords to happen to them, because they know if they ever go rogue, someone will be there to stop them. So after that whole Luthor and Brainiac versus the Justice League fight, Superman makes this speech and he says he's gonna disband the Justice League again. And then Green Arrow stands up and says his testimony, and he says, without you, we're nothing. So we need you guys, whether you like it or not. If they don't like it, that's their problem. We're the Justice League, and we stick together. So they keep the league. And so Season 3, which is the ending of Justice League Unlimited and the entire DC animated universe, which is sad because I love the DC animated universe. Gorilla Grodd creates this whole team of supervillains called the Legion of Doom, or he just calls it the Legion or the Secret Society. I don't know what they call it. You have almost every villain except for Joker, which I am upset about because Joker is like my favorite villain. So they have villains on that team, even villains that I've never even seen or heard of. You got Toyman, Killer Frost, Gorilla Grodd, Parasite, The Key, Dr. Polaris, Evil Star, Giganta, Atomic Skull. Like, some villains that you know and some villains that you never even seen before, which is really crazy. And so Gorilla Grodd had a remnants to Brainiac from when he exploded in Justice League when they were in space. So he had one piece of Brainiac, and he said he'll give it to Luthor if he'll join the team. Now Grodd had this female sorceress named Tala, who she was madly in love with, and Luthor was forcing Tala to find out the secrets to Brainiac, but that was great. It turned out it didn't really work out that well. And plus, Grodd was getting suspicious, and Luthor started taking matters into his own hands. So whoever sided with Gorilla Grodd fought Luthor's team of villains. And Luthor does the silliest thing to Grodd. He makes him walk into the airlock and sends him into the vacuum of space. So now Grodd is pretty much, I guess, presumed dead. and he forces Tala to summon Brainiac at the exact site where he exploded in space. So she does it, but guess what else happens? She brings back Darkseid to get revenge on Luthor for what she's done, but it ends up killing her in the process. So Darkseid thanks Luthor for his help, and in the end just destroys the Legion of Doom headquarters. But Star Sapphire was able to keep, and Sinestro was able to keep a field around them, and so they go to Earth and warn the Justice League that Darkseid is coming, and Darkseid returns to Apocalypse because there was an all-out war on his planet because he was gone the entire time. So he's back to ruling Apocalypse, and he sends a full apocalyptic invasion to Earth. So now the villains and the Justice League are forced to work together to get rid of Darkseid. So every hero and villain is across the world fighting Darkseid's parademons and these machines that Darkseid has planted across the Earth. Because Darkseid's planning on turning Earth into Apocalypse. A new Apocalypse, I guess. Superman, Batman, and Lex Luthor head to Metropolis to face off Darkseid himself. And trust me, that was the most craziest duel I've ever seen in my life. Of course, Superman goes all in. He makes an all-out superpowered punch to the face, and he sends him like Darkseid plummeting to the to the ground, and then apparently Darkseid still gets the upper hand because he has Brainiac technology all over his body. So Luthor finds this new god named Metron, who says there's only one way that could take out Darkseid, and he takes him to the Source Wall, which behind it has the anti-life equation, which is what Darkseid has been after his entire life. So Luthor walks up to Darkseid in his regular suit and tie, and he shows Darkseid the anti-life equation, and then bam, both of them just disappear. So the Earth is saved, and the villains feel like they should get credit for doing this. And Wonder Woman said, "You're right. You guys run away. You guys get a 5-minute head start before we catch you again." So the entire league goes out, captures the villains, and it ends with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman running together, and the show's over. So that was Justice League Unlimited was a really amazing TV show. I enjoyed everything of it from the beginning to end. I wish Bruce Timm and Paul Dini could have kept going and made more TV shows. I mean, I loved Batman the animated series and Superman the animated series, Batman Beyond and Static Shock. I loved everything that they done, but I felt like they could have. I wanted them to keep going. But with that being said, let me hear your comments. Did you guys enjoy Justice League Unlimited? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I am Vengeance, I am Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.